Warning from Tesla Motors CEO Elon Musk. It has nothing to do with cars. Instead, Musk warns about artificial intelligence, which he has called more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Musk spoke at a symposium at MIT.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Didn't work out.
I take it there will be no HAL 9000 going up to Mars.
HAL 9000 would be easy. It's way more complex than, I mean, it would put HAL 9000 to shame. Yeah. I like puppy dog. And the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Didn't work out.
I take it there will be no HAL 9000 going up to Mars.
HAL 9000 would be easy. It's way more complex than, I mean, it would put HAL 9000 to shame. Yeah.
How far have we reached? How far are we advanced in this technological society? I remember when I first started or attempting to try to understand where we were in the 70s in terms of technology, computers. Every time I tried to wrap my mind around it, there was another book or another magazine or someone in college, like the speed of light, professors coming by, traveling professors coming by, giving us the latest and greatest as to what was going on. Then I remember one year I met a few who were like, Pearson, you know what? They're advanced. And what I would tell you, Pearson, and don't quote me, is that they're 10 to maybe 30 years in advance. And I met this other guy who was like, no, we're advanced, we're 15 to 30 years. Go watch the Jetsons. You guys remember that show? The Jetsons, let me pull it up. The Jetsons. Remember that? So it made me giggle, made me laugh. It was still over my head. As I got older, I would refer to that. I would refer to that comment, and I could see what the person was trying to tell me without telling me, to speak to me without speaking. You see them flying, right? And then I began to study, my Bible, and I came into this guy here, sun god Ra, and began to see that he too could fly. And it was fascinating. I looked at things literally. I didn't look at things just figuratively. When I read the Bible, I'm like, yeah, that's what they did back in the day. And again, I drew from my college days of people that you meet and people that would indirectly swear you to secrecy. And now here we are today, and this guy is saying, yeah, didn't quite work out, right? I do believe we have come to a point where they can control whatever it is that they want, however they want, whenever they want. And ain't nothing we can do about it. And with that type of technology and a certain mindset in place, it's a wrap. I've covered, this particular video before. He's in his black and white and got the background of the red and black means sacrifice. And I speculated Elon knows things from A to Z from the research that I've done on him. But I want to go a little bit further today. I want to talk about, a friend of mine sent me some stuff last night, and then I received an email of a video, and I'm like, okay, it's guiding me, it's leading me somewhere. So let's just go down that road. I'm a little tired today, but we're gonna get through this because I wanna see something along with you. Here's a guy named Geordie, 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 Rose. Now, in Wikipedia, you can find him. He is a part founder of D-Wave Quantum Systems, Inc. It's quantum systems computing company with the locations in Palo Alto, California, Burnaby, British Columbia. D-Wave claims to be the world's first company to sell computers that exploit quantum effects in their operation. And you might ask yourself, like I used to ask myself, just what is quantum physics? Well, I found a video that could be as simple as possible for us. Check it out.
A quantum computer is an advanced computer that uses the principles of quantum mechanics to perform calculations at speeds unattainable by even the top supercomputers of the modern world. To understand how a quantum computer works, imagine that you're playing a game of chess and want to predict all the possible moves your opponent might make. You can do this with a classical or regular computer. It will go through each move of your opponent one at a time until it runs through all possible moves. This process, as you can imagine, can be time-consuming. However, if you had a quantum computer, it would simulate all possible moves of your opponent at once, in a fraction of the time the classical computer took. This is similar to what a quantum computer can do in the realm of analysis and computation. A quantum computer and a classical computer are similar in some ways. Both have circuits, chips, and logic gates to process information, and they are both operated by algorithms. However,
So I think that can make it work for you. I mean, you're on a chessboard, you rely on a regular computer to get it done, methodically show you all the little steps that you would need for your goal, whereas quantum, hey, it shows you all that and some in no time. When I was in college, I should grab this book right quick. I featured it last year. As a traveling professor I did meet, he talked about the Technocrats and technocracy. I did not know exactly the depthness of the time I interviewed this guy back in the 80s. I was probably my third year in college. And what he said was, in the future, the technocrats, these whiz kids, they're gonna go so deep that humans will not matter. And then I met other professors who broke it down to me like this about the business end. That businessmen from around the world would group and en route to the one world system. Then they would pair up with the technocrats, and that would be it. The politicians would be subservient to them, yet the people automatically become subservient. Just understand how deep this thing is. Oh, it's deep. The tech folks, quantum physics, quantum computers, politicians, and business people. And when you think about it right now, when you think about Elon joining Trump, when you think about Zuckerberg, Bezos, and other people from around the United States and the world coming to the trough, so to speak, of Mar-a-Lago / Trump, giving him billions of dollars, invest in the future. I've said it before and I'll say it again. They're investing in their future. Well, we will work. Yet, I do believe a lot of AI and robots will do that work. We just fill in until they advance to the point where they don't need us as much. That's just the way I see it. Tell me how you feel in the comment section. Now, let's go a little bit deeper, because this is the video that my friend sent me last night. Geordie Rose, founder and former CTO of D-Wave, presents super intelligent aliens are coming to Earth. I'm like, wow. So this one part I want to feature. I'll only do a minute. I want you to listen to what he said. He's quoting someone, and I just found it fascinating in relation to what's going on today. Because you know, for the last 2.5 months, we even had these UFOs everywhere, right? Now check it out.
Think about how unimportant that thing is that you're reading if this is true. Yeah? So what does this have to do with aliens? So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving, and it goes something like this. So I am, say I'm the President of the United States. So I received this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You gotta be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beamed down a message to all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the front lawn of the White House or wherever you wanted to land on that day. The amount of resources...
Did you catch that? He said July 13th. Listen.
To all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the...
What happened on July 13th? Look, I'm just putting it out there. July 13th, 2024, Donald Trump. Out of all the dates this guy could have picked, look, it was sent to me last night. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Is that coincidence? This video that I'm showing you is from a year ago, but I found another one that's older than that. So I don't know exactly when this talk was given. Oh, here it is here. In 2017. So 7 years ago, this guy out the blue, I guess he just picked a date. And he said July 13th. Well, look at what happened on July 13th. And people arguably, since then, we've had all these reports about UFOs. I'm just throwing it out there. But I'm going to digress because I want to get into something else. The Simpsons, you know, they always own it, right? I said the Simpsons, they always own it. Don't you ever ask yourself, how do the Simpsons know when things are going to happen? How do they predict stuff? Right? Well, let's look at a few slides here. I'll put it in the description where this came from. A brother named Graves, I forgot his name, but this was sent to me. See that? What hit the White House? A spaceship. And then all of a sudden, he comes running down, and you got politicians who are debating, right? And guess what he does? He pulls off their mask. Pulls off their mask, and boom, what do you have? Aliens. Wow. Now let's go back and play what he said. Because we want to keep context, right? Nothing wrong with context.
So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving, and it goes something like this. So I am, say I'm the President of the United States. So I received this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You gotta be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beamed down a message to all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership.
Do you think that's possible? Do you think that the professors that I was talking to, of which one had military contacts, was trying to tell me something way back in the day? They're there, listen to the politicians, and then Bart takes off. Well, what's that? Bart's daddy takes off the mask, and they're like, "Well, so what? Now you know who we are." The crowd's like, "Wow, we want to vote independent." The guy says, "Well, go ahead and wait. Don't waste your vote. Waste your vote. It's two wings of the same bird, Democrat versus Republican. You've been doing this all your time, but you've been really voting for us. You didn't know." And then the thing about it is that when the announcement is made for everybody to accept this new system, he literally says, President Cain. President Cain. Now, what does that make you think of? It makes you think of biblical in Genesis, because Cain killed Abel. And I've said many times in my videos in the past that that's where this evil, that's where this dark matter come from. Now it's resurrected itself in our period. See, there's more UFOs. And he says, all hail President Cain. Isn't that something? And look at the colors of Ra, the sun god. Now, if you think that's far-fetched, let me throw something at you that I featured this last year as well. This is Glenn Beck. And no matter what you think about him, there are people on the earth who are having dreams. You go all over the social media, and people are saying that God is showing them either the rapture, aliens, demons, serpent children, sea monsters, the gods from the sea, and they have taken over. Well, Mr. Beck tells a story where once upon a time he lived in New York and he couldn't sleep. He had this medical condition where he couldn't sleep. So he left New York. He hadn't had a dream. He had not had a dream in 10 years. He was seeing a specialist, whatever. Then he had a dream, right? He had a dream. And the most mysterious thing happened. He was in the White House. I said he was in the White House. Oh yeah, it's deep. And while he was in the White House, he was going down this corridor like a hallway. And these men came up behind him. And they took him and other folks to a room. And they got to talking to him, and the head guy's like, well, we're gonna separate them, but you're gonna stay here. So Glenn Beck stayed in the room. They took the other people in the other room, and Glenn Beck said in the dream he heard 3 gunshots. Boom, boom, boom. And the guy's like, wow, that was quick. He says, well, you know what? We're gonna get to know. Now that's deep, just thinking about that. Just can you imagine you are in the White House, all this is going down, and then the guy told Glenn Beck, and you have no idea who you're dealing with, as he took off his mask. As he took off his mask. They were serpent children. They were aliens. This is what he's saying, okay? And then he says about a year and a half later, he gets a call. Glenn Beck, because he hadn't told his wife, he hadn't told anybody about this dream. But this dream was with him every day mentally. And this prominent religious leader called him and says, hey, you and your wife, can you come and see me as soon as you can? So they got a flight, came out to see him. They stayed in the hotel that night. And guess what? Glenn Beck had a dream again. Now remember, no dream, 10 years, and all of a sudden, now, 2 dreams, same dream. He's going to see this religious leader. He doesn't know why. So he gets to the religious leader's house. And his wife's like, hey, well, get a little bit ahead of myself. On the way, he told his wife about the dream, right? I mean, it's crazy. His wife's like, well, you should tell the religious leader what's going on. He said, no, can't do that. If God wants him to know, then he'll tell me about it. And, well, guess what? They're having, I guess, like tea or coffee. They meet the religious leader at the guy's house. And the guy says, hey, Glenn, sometimes the Lord, he talks to people. Glenn's like, yeah. He says, yeah, and the good Lord, he gives us dreams, and sometimes he gives us visions. Glenn Beck's like, yeah. He says, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And Glenn Beck is like, yeah. And the pastor told him, do not dismiss that dream. Now, I'll put this in the comments, in the description as well. It's called, was Glenn's dream actually a vision for the future? With all that I have been reading, people, since I was in my teenage years, I do believe we've completed full circle. I believe this man has got to know what's going on. He's got to know, allegedly, what's going on. And Glenn Beck and other people out here, allegedly, are getting confirmation that there is not only something amongst us, but there is something that has been ruling us. And now it has gone all the way to the White House. You guys probably remember there's a video that came out about 2 years ago. I watched it earlier. I'll put this in the description also. The Hail to the Chief Dream, Dana Coverstone. He talks about how during the State of the Union, he had a dream as well, and how the Lord showed him some things. How our whole government was taken over during the State of the Union message. People, do you believe that something like this is going on? That what we're really looking at on both sides, I don't care who won the presidency and who lost. Is it possible that we're looking at serpent children? Is it possible that they want new residents on the planet? And if that is true, would that not explain all that we are seeing in terms of hell going on in our land and the real estate? Just put it together. I'm going to say it again. Try to see it in another way. If our country the land that we love, and other countries are being ruled and reigned by serpent children. Those who tried to get to the throne of grace and wanted to be like the Most High along with Satan and were hurled down here, they had to go somewhere. Is it possible that God is allowing them to be let loose so we can be drawn to the only source of true love and grace that the world could ever know? And that these demons are being allowed to come back in our realm so fierce, so boldly, that they very well could be revealed to us. And once they do, it's a wrap. And they'll be like, hail to President Kane. It's deep, y'all. I believe we're here. I believe the real estate that they want is the whole planet. That's why I'm not surprised in relation to what has been going on our planet in terms of real estate. You got to just see through the lines. See through what I'm trying to say. They used to be here in the valleys, in the streams, in the mountains, in different parts of the world. And they want that residency. So they cause things to happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? I said the word real estate. That could mean homes, land, communities, forest, countryside, farms. Think about what could be utilized to take it away from you and I on a daily basis. Think about what I'm saying. Is that what's going on now? Is there a land grab going on around the whole world? But you think it's something else. My name is Friend Shai Pierce. If you like the work, please subscribe, thumbs up. It's deep. If you like the work, go to my site, click on my portrait. Then from there, if you want to support, hit more. I have Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. I also have a beautiful poetry book you can purchase on Amazon Books. I also have a P.O. box. If you can't support the channel, that's fine. I get it. Just give me a prayer, and I'll give you one as well. But remember, Jesus is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. These are the last days. Satan's coming after this real estate. They're covering the news and telling you one thing. I just have to talk in codes so you can understand what's going on. They're not just coming for the White House. They're coming for the land. We can fight back. You cast these demons out, praying and fasting. God bless.